Let's see who's joining us today. Hello, Kathy in Virginia. Glad to see you. Don't see your Joe Biden doll today. That was a magnificent thing you brought yesterday. Hello, Nancy in Washington, or Nancy's cow in Washington. Hello, Nico. Glad you're with us today. Thanks for helping out with the tech today. And that's also a thank you to Binta for helping out with the tech today. Hello, Dennis in British Columbia. Great to see you. And Janet in Georgia. Great to see you today. Hello to Adele in the DMV area. David in upstate New York. Pam, hello. Nice to see you. And Sheila in Florida. Deborah in Kentucky. Bonnie in Idaho. Pete and Janet in Toronto. Hello. Hello, Dan in Virginia. And hello, Carolyn in Idaho. And Liz, hello. Nice to see you. I'm not sure if you're new to us. And Nicola in the UK, great to see you today. And Barb in Kentucky, hello. And Max in New Hampshire. And Dick and Kathy, some of our previous song leaders coming from BC. Nice to see you guys. Marta, thanks for being with us today. Caroline in the DMV, Susan in Seattle, Anne in the DMV. Luda, nice to see you today. I think British Columbia. And Jane, hello. Glad you're joining us. Carol, lots of other folks not on video. Terry and Annette. And Belinda and Pete and others still coming in the room. Carol, Storm, Lynn, and lots of other folks. Thanks so much for being with us today. We're really glad to see you. Hello also to everybody out there on Facebook Live. Glad you're with us too. Welcome to the Washington Rebels Carpe Diem Arts Daily Antidote of Song at something like 215, 16, 17 days today, I forget, where we have been coming together every day at noon to sing one song together with artists from all around the globe. Building a lot of community, getting through some tough times, singing together, and finding some peace and some strength in the midst of what has been a very, very strange and rapidly nearing end of year of 2020. So let's see a couple of quick announcements before we get started. This is our one of our special Singing for Racial Justice weeks. We're going through November 15th with this. On the 16th, we are starting with an archive challenge week, a partnership with the Library of Congress, where we're going to be singing songs all out of the LC archives. And then please come back again in December and January and February for more racial justice weeks and more archive challenge weeks. We've got lots of really cool stuff coming up soon and can't wait to keep singing with you with all these folks. So quick notes that most of you already know. Lyrics will be in the chat. There is a donate link. Your donations are what is actually keeping this program going, and all the money that comes in is going directly to the song leaders. And a big shout out of thanks to Binta Kulabali and Nico Rossi DeMattis running the tech for us today. And let's see, the last thing I was going to say. So I think I'm going to just say today, I'm super excited. This week we are having a lot of co-hosts and multiple artists on a single day, which has been a blast. And today, co-hosting with me are Sandy Opatow and Pat Humphreys of Emma's Revolution. And they're bringing to us today an artist we've not sung with yet, but we couldn't be more excited to sing with, Melanie DeMore. So welcome to all three of you. And Pat and Sandy, I am turning it over to you.
Well, it's morning for us here in the Sacramento Valley of California. I know y'all have been up for a while, but it's great to see you all here. And it's very exciting for us to be able to bring our friends and cohorts from the West Coast here to you all. Melanie DeMore, we've known one another for decades. We started crossing paths, and every time I saw Melanie, I would say, oh my gosh, we've got to work together. Sometime we've got to work together. And of course, ironically enough, due to this pandemic, we cross paths more now than we ever did when we were physically traveling places. And she's a joy and a delight and a really deep singer and song leader. And we know that you will just adore her as we do.
And not only that, Melanie is a very studied and accomplished composer and a singer and songwriter and a group leader. She's worked with choirs across the country. She's taught stick pounding, which is a really amazing experience if you want to catch some of her videos. And she's worked with all sorts of people that we know and love here across this span of justice singing. So we're so thrilled that you decided to get up in the morning and sing with us, Melanie. We really appreciate it. So please welcome Melanie DeMore.
Good morning, fam. Gosh, it's so good to see you. And the best thing we can do these days is keep singing. I'm just saying. So I'm going to teach you a song that I wrote called Rise Up. And that's what we have to do. And we have to be the voice for each other in these crazy times. You know, because if I'm down, everybody's down. If you're down, I'm down. Nod your head. Nod it. Excellent. All right. So this is how it goes. I'll sing the chorus for you, then I'm going to teach it to you. All right, you good? Excellent. All right. So this particular song has a little, because I like to get my rhythm going in my heart. So here's the chorus. Rise up, and take your place. Move to the head of the line. Join the human race. No more denying. Open your eyes and see. You got a right, sure as you're breathing. You got a right to be free. Okay, so that's the part you're going to sing. Here's the first line. Rise up, and take your place. Here we go. Rise up, and take your place. My turn next. Move to the head of the line. Join the human race. Here you go. Move to the head of the line. Join the human race. Here's the next one. No more denying. Open your eyes and see. Here we go. No more denying. Open your eyes and see. Let's do that one again. No more denying. Open your eyes and see. Excellent. Here's the last one. Got a right as you breathing. You got a right to be free. Here we go. You got a right sure as you breathing. You got a right to be free. One more time. You got a right sure as you breathing. You got a right to be free. Now let's put the whole thing together. And you see, I like to keep the rhythm going because our hearts are going all the time, so we don't want to bust up the groove. Here we go. Rise up, and take your place. Move to the head of the line. Join the human race. No more denying. Open your eyes and see. You got a right, sure as you're breathing. You got a right to be free. Excellent. Now I'm going to do the whole song down, and then get to the chorus. You sing really loud. You get your clap on, and we just go. Here we go. Rise up, and take your place. Move to the head of the line. Join the human race. No more denying. Open your eyes and see. You got a right, sure as you're breathing. You got a right to be free. And you got a right to feed your children and help them grow up strong. How can they face the future if they're hungry all day long? So rise up, and take your place. Move to the head of the line. Join the human race. No more denying. Open your eyes and see. You got a right, sure as you're breathing. You got a right to be free. And you got a right to be angry at a system that has failed to honor all its people. You got a right to be heard. So rise up, and take your place. Move to the head of the line. Join the human race. No more denying. Open your eyes and see. You got a right, sure as you're breathing. You got a right to be free. And you got a right to be his sister, brother, people, family. You got a seat here at the table. Sit on down right next to me and rise up, and take your place. Move to the head of the line. Join the human race. No more denying. eyes and see. You got a right, sure as you're breathing. You got a right to be free. You got a right, sure as you're breathing. You got a right to be free. You got a right, sure as you're breathing. You got a right to be free. There you go. Woohoo!
There you go, indeed. So that's the kind of energy, right? I mean, come on, people. How awake do you feel now, 9 a.m.ers like us? Yes. I loved it. I was thinking as we were singing through the lyrics, like, it's a perfect song. You got a right to be angry at a system that has failed, right? And that we've got to rise up. That's kind of, I feel like that sums up where we're at the moment. It's both the celebration of the next, hopefully the next phase that we want to work on this system. How are you feeling about where we're at, Melanie?
Well,
Election and all.
well, it's first of all, I'm breathing a little bit deeper than I have been for a long, long time. And that every single thing, family, that we've been dealing with from the beginning of the pandemic and in the last 4 grueling years is all about the breath, our breath. I can't breathe. We can't breathe on each other. The planet has been sort of gasping for air. And one of the things that happens with that is that our voice and our power seems to get choked up in this whole area here. And the thing is that we cannot be afraid of speaking up and standing up. And the work really truly begins now. Because we're also dealing with a person who is shouting foul and all these other things. And we have to deal with that. And we have to understand that this is a person who is, everything stems from fear and disconnection, and we have to not fall for it. We have to not fall for it. And as a person who is privileged to walk around in beautiful black skin, it's a little scary to be a black person now in the US than it has been for a long time. And we need each and every one of you, even if you're afraid and scared, to do it anyway, to stand up anyway. And now more than ever, because one of the things that's happening, this is a person who would be very happy to have a race war in our country. Very happy. And we have to not fall for it. And we have to be really diligent and awake and understand that it's going to take each and every one of us. The work is just beginning.
Right. And this work has been happening, throughout our history in phases, of course, and so much of your music is rooted in that deep Georgia Sea Island tradition and all those traditions that survived the horrific slave trade and have survived almost untouched on those islands and enriched our musical traditions so deeply. And you were part and founder of that the Cultural Heritage
With Linda Tillery and the
Choir.
Cultural Heritage Choir, yes.
Hillary, yeah, really beautiful, powerful tradition of music. These. It's not the first time that we've met, horrific.
No.
Times, and it's people of color in this country have of course seen the absolute worst of it. Indigenous people, so we know we'll get through. But the only way we get through is together.
There's no doubt about that. And it's interesting in the time that we're in. For a lot of us, people of color and black people in particular, this is a song that we know all the verses to. This is a song we've been, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
And see, we need to have a lot more people in the choir, and we need you. And also, just historically, my father passed away in 2014. And he was only born 60 years after the signing of the Emancipation Proclamation. That's how close it is that we're dealing with. That is the history that we're dealing with here. And it is time. It's time. And one thing I have to say that I give credit to Cheeto Head for is the fact that, yes, that is my name for that person, is that he has woken this country up. People are awake. I mean, if you think back to 2016 and the day after the election, people were in the streets. People were in the streets, thousands upon thousands. We have never seen that. And the same thing that just happened a few days ago. And this person is putting all the energy and using taxpayer dollars to fight the decision that the people made.
Yeah.
We have to remember that history is very, very close. I mean, that it's very, very close. And we've got to stand up to this. And we've got to stand up to it, and we've got to stand with each other in order for it to go. I know we got this. We just have to keep on walking, lead with love, one foot in front of the other. Let's keep rolling. Yeah.
Well, the civil rights era helped to, make it clear to us who and what the enemy was, so that we could actually look it in the face. And I think this is another phase of that. We know that there are 70 million people, at least 70 million people in this country who are willing to go along with, with the racism, with authoritarianism. And, we can see now what's before us and the work ahead. But we've also seen how powerful our coming together is in the face of all of that. I mean, the demonstrations and everything have just been so incredibly inspiring and I think enlightening to a lot of folks in the country who've not been engaged necessarily before.
Yeah, there are a lot more folks that are really, really engaged these days. And folks, we need to remember too, one of the things, and it's really so hard not to do this, is to otherize people. You have to realize that their motivation is one of fear.
Yeah.
And to understand that really what we all want is basically the same thing. The difference is one side thinks that if you have it, there's not going to be enough for me. And the other side thinks that there's enough for everybody.
Yeah.
So the thing is that what we have to do, and this is really hard, family, you know this, is not drink from the same cup because these folks have drunk the Kool-Aid. And when you otherize people, you're taking a sip from the same cup, and that's the hardest part. It's the hardest part to understand that the things that we all need in order to thrive are not different. And that's the thing. Because when people do not feel like they're seen, weird stuff happens. And so they drank the Kool-Aid from a person who says, I see you, who really doesn't. And if you'll recall back in the day of Jim Jones, almost all of his followers were black people. Because they thought, and he convinced them that he saw them. And every human being wants to be seen and acknowledged. And when they don't, when people are not seen, school shootings happen, people go into churches and kill each other, all of those things. So my thing is when I'm looking at somebody that just sort of drives me crazy, I look at them and I think that person used to be somebody's baby. That policeman used to be somebody's baby who killed somebody's baby. That if we connected that humanity, it just maybe it gives us a second before we say something really horrible. We take a breath because this is understanding that they have things that we need the same things, and to just get past their fear. That's the main thing. So, yes, you got to keep that.
I'm so glad you said that about that courageous and powerful way that you keep a connection instead of jumping right to an otherizing. So thank you for that. That's a really beautiful lesson for all of us to take with us. How do you care to share something about how you sustain yourself during this time and to have the kind of love and courage and readiness to keep doing what needs to be done as we take this next step forward?
Well, I try to keep breathing. Um, I have I have things around me that when I feel like, first of all, I'm taking things way too seriously or I'm getting way too like this. My Black Panther action figures. Wakanda forever. Just saying.
Yes.
And I think that having to going back to the place where you feel yourself, and so songs are like that for me. Um, and that's my medicine. That's my medicine. And it's been important to me. I took off and went to New Mexico to be in the mountains for a couple of weeks, um, and just to be still, because we think just because we're sitting in our houses that we're still, but we're not. We are not babies. We've been twisting and turning. Let's just face it. We've all been jammed up and jelly tight. So I try to, when I feel like this, I try to go, okay, now,
Where are my shoulders?
calm down. I also try to get out and do a walk. And
I think you're saying
I just think about all of the folks who have inspired me and who I've gotten to sing with, like Pete Seeger and Ronnie Gilbert and Richie Havens and Odetta and all of those folks just kept going. They kept singing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it.
I'm so glad you said that, because we would love to invite you. Sometimes in these, when it's a shared hosting, the people in our position would sing a song, but I would love if you're up for it, we'd love to either sing your song again or another song from you. We just want to hear your voice again and receive your energy and share that with everyone who's here in the Zoom room and everyone who's out on Facebook who needs. This is such a perfect moment to get that medicine from you.
Well, what I would love to do one that one that I can just sing for you, that just as a little blessing. We had this experience a few weeks ago here in California where the sky was just a shade lighter than me at noontime. Then the street lights came on at noon, and I was going on my walk, and people were just so disoriented. They couldn't feel themselves, and you could tell people were walking around in a daze. And so this song came to me because I realized that what we see is not necessarily the truth of the matter. You know what I'm saying? There is what we see, and there is what we know. And so I want to send you out with this song. Goes like this. I know there is sun. I know there is sun. I know there are stars in the sky. I know there is sun. I know there is sun. I know there are stars in the sky. It's not what we see, it's what we know. It's not what we see, it's what we know. And I know there is sun. I know there is sun. I know there are stars in the sky. It's not what we see, it's what we know. It's not what we see, it's what we know. And I know there is sun. I know there is sun. I know there are stars in the sky.
That's so beautiful. I love the medicine of your music and your smile. When that smile comes beaming through, it's such a beautiful moment. Thank you so much.
Thank you for inviting me, my sisters.
Yeah, hugs and love.
Love you so
Mwah,
much,
mwah.
honey.
Yeah.
So, are there places folks can hear you coming up so they can join you again and singing?
Well, I kind of pop up on a lot of different things, and mostly I put things up on my Facebook page. So, or, just sing on, folks. I love your bones. Huh?
And when you sing on, well, let's send love to Melanie so she can keep that courageous heart going and give us this beautiful perspective. We are going to turn this over to Joe Razi. We're Emma's Revolution. You can find us on Facebook and all of that stuff. Yeah. And we look forward to singing with Melanie again.
Yes.
Take care.
Much love.
Thank you, Pat and Sandy. Thank you so much, Melanie, for the beautiful music, and Pat and Sandy for introducing us to Melanie. Fast family ship has just happened in this room for sure. And Melanie, we hope we'll get to sing with you again sometime in the future. Sadly, we're always going to have to wake you up in the morning, but actually you said you don't mind, so that's perfect. That was just absolutely stunning and beautiful. And I have to say, on the day that the election results came out, we were in this room together, some of us just finding out for the first time, and there was bouncing around and there was joy. And then we got to the discussion part and we started talking about the hard work ahead of us. And I have loved the fact that in this room, we have combined every day since then, some joy and some hope and some peace with that. Let's not forget, like, we are just beginning a new journey right now, and every single one of us is going to count in how we act and what we do. And I do also want to say that one of the things we've talked about in this room is the ability to communicate together, which is hard to do in this Zoom, excepting through song. And yesterday we started a Daily Antidote Facebook page where we actually had, within moments of starting it, a post from Chris Matthews, who's one of the women who comes and sings with us in here. And she posted something really beautiful about having in some way felt like I also experienced this, losing our flag, like our flag became a symbol of a kind of patriotism that didn't stand for what we stood for. And that after the election, she was driving down the street and saw flags out with Biden signs in a way that made it clear that people were saying, no, actually, this is our flag. This is our nation. We do want to bring it back together again and all be under one roof, all be in one place, and finding those commonalities, finding those ways we can actually join hands, join forces, and not polarize and not otherwise. And so I am loving the ways in which this community is here every day in this room and outside of this room, the ways we are all connected through the hard work and through the joy. Thank you, thank you, thank you to everybody for being here. If you're new to us, please be in touch. I'd love to get you on our email list and stay in touch, and hope we'll meet up again at lots of other things with Melanie and Pat and Sandy. Another big thank you to both of you. Melanie, thank you so much. Pat and Sandy, thank you so much. If you can hear the cheering in the room, I hope we've all just been, actually, you're not seeing a lot of cheering because everybody's sort of a little stunned into like a good zone. Thank you for bringing us there. Kathy, thank you so much for joining us today. Nancy, thank you so much. Great to see you. Can't wait to see you guys tomorrow. Dennis, thank you so much. One of our other song leaders. Thank you so much to Janet. Really glad to have you here today. Pam, thank you. Deborah, see you tomorrow. Thank you so much. Bonnie, thanks so much for being here. Really glad you're with us again today too. And let's see, Pete and Janet. Actually, it's just the Pete part, but Pete, tell Janet we all say hi and send hugs. Thank you for joining us today. And Carolyn, thank you so much for being here. Beth, thank you. Marta and Marta's right-hand guy, thank you so much. And Susan, thank you. Caroline, Luda, Carol, Lisa, Yogini, I think you're new to us. Glad to see you today and hope you can join us again. Dion, thank you so much. Fred, Rhonda, thank you. I think you might also be new to us. Thanks for being here today. Terry and Diane, Storm, Martha, Dick and Kathy. Kathy Bullock, is in the house. I didn't even see you. Hello, Kathy Bullock, another one of our amazing song leaders and co-hosts of our Singing for Racial Justice Week. Kathy, so glad you made it. Anne, thank you so much for being here today. And Storm, and another Anne, Adele, Sheila, Gary, Annette. Thank you so much, gang. Christine, and Lynn, Jenny, Valerie, Gwen, and some more folks. Let's see, Kathy, Arlene. Thanks so much, gang, for all of you showing up today. Oh, you know what? How about goodbye to everybody on Facebook Live? There's that little piece I always forget. Goodbye, everybody on Facebook Live.